Well, let's get into CBD for all the people that don't have an addiction issue. They're not concerned about their cravings for sugar and alcohol and all that. Let's get into CBD. And if there's a connection between addiction and CBD, what role does CBD have in addiction? Is it a tool? Can you use CBD if you are struggling with, say, to prevent addiction? Let's say you know it's in your family and you're drawn to that. Could you go use CBD instead?
Well, first of all, the cannabinoids and the endocannabinoids, which are the cannabinoids that we make ourselves, we actually make our own form of CBD called anandamide, and it's also 2-AG, and there are other ones as well. So we make these endocannabinoids, and they're actually involved in the whole reward cascade. They're involved in the rewarding effects of all the addictive substances, nicotine, opiates, alcohol, cocaine, and the benzodiazepines. So they're very important. And when people are low in endocannabinoids, they're not making enough of them. And that's genetic. And it can be genetic. It can also be due to stress, just like any addiction. It could be stress, it could be genetics, it could be both. So when
diet, would diet? Do you think diet has much of a role in it?
So all these externals will change the level of the endocannabinoids. And the important thing is that we now have CBD. We have finally brought it into the marketplace. We've known about it since about 1998 when Professor Raphael Mechoulam and his team in Israel discovered it. And he's the one who discovered the THC receptor in the 60s. So he's been on this research on cannabis for many, many years. So it's all part of the endocannabinoid system, and we can actually interface and make a difference in any kind of addiction by shoring up the endocannabinoid system. And we do this with CBD.
If somebody has a brain injury, they've fallen, they hit their head, their child fell out of a tree or something, will it help with the healing of the brain? Is there any?
Yes, it's a precursor to a lot of mental illness, including addiction. In fact, almost all addicts that I have found have had some sort of fairly serious head injury at some point. And you don't have to lose consciousness in order for this to be serious. It causes brain inflammation, and that brain inflammation stays there. It doesn't go away. And over the years, it can get worse and predisposes people to Alzheimer's later in life. So it's very important to pay attention to this brain inflammation. And guess what? CBD is one of the great tools we have for reducing brain inflammation.